Welcome back to my channel, Jada Mommy of Z's. If you're new here, I'm Jada, obviously. I had a request to do another video on breastfeeding, so here we are. As you can tell by the title, it is about things I like and dislike about breastfeeding. I got some notes here because my memory sucks and it's late. Some of the kids are asleep, some of them are going to sleep, so I'm trying to stay in here so I can halfway be quiet. It might be a little echoey and the lighting's kind of crazy, but we're gonna work it out. So I'm gonna start with the things that I like or love about breastfeeding. The first thing would be the saving money. So the last time I checked, a can of I'm not gonna say a brand, but the can of formula that I have used in the past is like around $30. We were going through, oh gosh, I can't even remember, all the other ones are like older. Maybe 10 to 15 cans a month. You can imagine how much that is. With me breastfeeding, I don't have to worry about that. I don't even have to worry about bottles, buying bottles, none of that. Like, cause she won't take them anyway. She's used them a few times when I was hospitalized in the past, like in the beginning, like when she was a fresh newborn. But other than that, all those additional costs, like I don't have to worry about them, and I'm so thankful. Another thing would be the convenience. So like I said, I don't have to worry about bottles or anything. So when we're ready to go, we already keep a diaper bag packed with some extra clothes in it and everything. And like for the twins, we keep their little backpacks packed too. But I don't have to worry about packing bottles or how am I gonna make bottles. Do we need to pack bottled water or formula? I don't have to worry about any of that. Like, it's convenient no matter where I'm at. Oh, if she's ready to eat, I'm right here ready to go. Like, that's it. Excuse me. Ooh. Oh, another thing that I can say I like about breastfeeding or love about breastfeeding is basically promoting good health. Like, I know she's getting the best that she could possibly get from me, and also it does a lot for me. Like, I was extremely overweight with her, and I'm still overweight, but I've lost so much weight. My health has been better. Like, things like my cholesterol's down, blood pressure's down, in addition to losing weight and stuff. And it's like, that's because of me breastfeeding. I know it's not, because I still eat the same. That's why I haven't lost all the weight. But just breastfeeding alone has helped with that so much. So I'm glad that I made the choice to continue breastfeeding. Like with all my other kids, by the time they were, I think my oldest, I breastfed for a little over a month. With the twins, I breastfed almost about 3 months. And Zaray just turned 6 months and still breastfeeding. Still going strong, so I'm thankful for that. I feel like I'm gonna try to go until she's at least a year. But I mean, as long as she wants to, I'm not gonna force her to stop that early, but I don't know, that's later in life. Hopefully I make it that long. But on to some things that I dislike about breastfeeding. The first thing, which I'm sure, a light went out, hold on. Oh, and I'm back. One of the first things that I dislike about breastfeeding, which I'm sure most, if not all people who are breastfeeding can agree with, are the stares and the rude comments. Whether I'm at a restaurant, out shopping, even if I'm like at a family or friend gathering, sometimes there are people that'll just sit there and give you dirty looks or just stare at you. And I'm like, she's eating. Do people stare at you when you're eating? Doesn't it make you uncomfortable? Like, it gets frustrating. And then the rude comments like, well, can't you go to the other rooms? Like, I could, but you could also just not stare at me. Or like, why don't you just put a blanket over her? I'm like, you know what? With my oldest, I was more reserved in that way because I was trying to be respectful to other people's wishes. So I would, cover with myself and cover him with a blanket. Do you know how many times I would like be checking on him, like as I'm feeding him, and he'd be dripping sweat? I'm like, no. After that, I was like, no, I'm not doing that with any of my kids anymore. I don't care. If you don't want to see it, don't look. Now, I may excuse myself, go to another room, depending on where I'm at, what the situation is, but I'm not covering myself. You don't want to eat with a blanket over your head. I don't eat with a blanket over my head. I don't want to eat on the toilet, in a bathroom, in a basement, in the dark, cold corner. Neither does she, the baby. So, I don't like that, and it makes me uncomfortable. I feel like that is a natural thing. Like, what do you think we were doing before bottles and stuff were created? Like, we didn't hide ourselves and squirt it across the room and hope the baby catches it in their mouth. Like, come on. That always makes me so mad. But I try to be respectful about it. Another thing that I dislike about breastfeeding is it is so time consuming, especially if you're trying to rebuild or like regulate a supply. Like in the beginning, I had to build up a supply. So I'm eating lactation cookies, I'm pumping constantly. Like it takes a lot of time and effort to build up that supply, which of course your milk's gonna come in anyway. But like, say for example, with my oldest, I didn't make near as much as I make now. And that's because now, even after she was eating in the beginning, I would still pump for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Now I was like eating lactation cookies and drinking mother's milk tea. I still do that to this day. Like, it's so time consuming. I try to get at least 3 cups in a day. So throughout my day, I have to stop and make sure I drink this tea. And I can drink it while I'm doing stuff or whatever, but excuse me, it's time consuming to try to make sure you fit that into a busy schedule when you're already a single mom of 4 trying to maintain them, all the kids are schooling, excuse me, maintaining the household, laundry, dishes, clothes, feeding them, trying to supplement income on the side, like all the daily tasks that you already do, and then trying to add in things like building up a supply, and it's like I'm always having to stop and feed her, which of course I love that time, that bonding, that experience, because it makes me stop and reflect on myself. Like, if I'm holding a bottle feeding her, which even now breastfeeding I suppose I could do, but if I have to stop and feed her, it takes a lot out of me, but it forces me to stop and take a breath and be like, okay, you know what, calm, breathe for a minute. She'll play with my hair or play with my necklace or something and I can chill, but at the same time that takes time. So it's kind of a dislike, because it's like sometimes I don't have the time to just stop every 2 hours, sometimes if she's in the mood to eat every 2 hours, no matter what I'm doing. Because at one point I was taking classes and I'm like, I don't have time. If class is 3-4 hours long, I don't have time to stop multiple times for 30 minutes or so at a time to feed the baby. And I could pump. What is going on with these lights? Sorry. And I could excuse me, I could pump and put it in a bottle or whatever and let like my ex do it or whatever. But for one, at this point, she will not take a bottle. We've tried multiple times. She will not do it. She'll starve before she takes a bottle nowadays. And for 2, when I do pump, nowadays, I don't pump anymore. Because beforehand, it's when I was working outside of the house. So she needed milk. Or when I was in the hospital. So she needed milk because I wasn't there. But now that she's here with me 24/7, I didn't really have a reason to pump. Like, there's still a little milk in the freezer for emergencies, but I feel like if anything was to happen, I'll just start pumping again. But I don't have a major supply like I did where I could just send bags of milk away. Like, now it's like she's with me 24/7. If she's not, there's a little bit there for a night away or 2 or whatever, but it just, I don't know. It's time consuming was my point. That whole random rant was basically, it's time consuming. Another thing, the pain. Oh my goodness. In the beginning, with all the kids, in the beginning, it was painful. If you get engorged, oh my God. If you get mastitis, if you don't know what that is, you'll have to look it up. It's basically like if a milk duct gets infected or backed up. It is bad. Like, the only way to relieve the pain is to have the baby feed, like if I'm engorged or something, but like, it hurts to have her latch on. Now that we're, well established, we're 6 months down the line, that type of pain is over. But now we're to the point where she's trying to move more, she's trying to crawl, so she will latch onto me and do an alligator spin and try to do a backflip off of me and try to rip my nipple off. So now it's a different kind of pain. It's her pulling and tugging and getting distracted every 5 seconds, looking away and pulling me along with her. So it gets painful. And like I try to like focus and talk to her so she'll be engaged with me and focused on eating. But let one of the kids walk by. Let her hear a sound. Let her just get bored. And she'll be like, you know what? I'm out of here. And she'll start trying to flip or crawl up my body while she's still latched onto me. It's a lot. But yeah, overall, I'm glad that I made the decision to continue breastfeeding. And hopefully, if I can, I will do it as long as I can. I'm hoping to make it to at least a year. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do this in another 6 months and see where we're at. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I know someone had a request of some more like breastfeeding type of videos, so you're welcome. But thank you for being here, sticking along with me, you guys. Hit a like for me. Leave a comment if you have any other type of videos that you'd like to see, or if you have any specific topics you want me to address. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Ooh. And if you want to be notified, when I drop new videos, be sure to tap the notification bell, and I will catch up with you guys later.